Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga's cabinet approved a record-high $51.7 billion or 5.34 trillion yen draft budget for the fiscal year of 2021 amid the COVID-19 pandemic and security challenges. The rise in military spending would be reportedly directed towards the development of an advanced stealth fighter and longer-range anti-ship missile. The growth in the budget can be attributed to the increasing uneasiness in Japan about China's long-term military goal. According to Japan's constitution, it's a pacifist country. Article 9 states that the Japanese people forever renounce war and the threat or use of force. But new laws introduced in recent times allow a much broader interpretation of what can be done by Japan's self-defense forces and what not. A growing military budget and a much more aggressive defense policy indicate that Japan is taking steps to militarily counter China. This video is sponsored by the free-to-play military vehicle combat game War Thunder. We talk a lot about military vehicles on this channel, but what about trying them out for yourself? In War Thunder, you can choose from more than 1,200 playable vehicles from the 1930s to the 1990s and go to battle on more than 80 theaters of war. You can fly aircraft, helicopters, drive tanks, and command ships of all types and sizes, which have been carefully recreated from their real-world counterparts. It's available as a free download on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. So grab your friends and give it a try. All viewers of Defense Updates that register using the link in the description below will also get a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship and 3 days of premium account time as a bonus. Two Japan-based destroyers of the U.S. Navy have conducted a Taiwan Strait transit. It is the second such transit in 3 weeks and the fourth overall mission during that time to push back against excessive maritime claims in the Pacific. China claims almost 90% of the South China Sea through its so-called 9-dash line map. It says that it has indisputable sovereignty over the sea. Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers USS John S. McCain, DDG-56, and USS Curtis Wilbur, DDG-54, conducted a routine Taiwan Strait transit on December 31st, local time, or December 30th in the continental United States. According to a statement from the U.S. 7th Fleet, the ship's transit through the Taiwan Strait was made in accordance with international law and demonstrates the U.S. commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. The statement adds, "The United States military will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows." A fisherman in Indonesia, referred to only as Serudin, recently caught what appears to be a Chinese underwater drone. At least two other very similar, if not identical, ocean glider-type unmanned undersea vehicles have been found in Indonesian waters in the past 2 years. Serudin reportedly nabbed the drone on December 20th, 2020, near the Selayar Islands, an archipelago that's part of Indonesia's South Sulawesi province. He later handed it over to local police, who then turned it over to the Indonesian military. A report from an Indonesian outlet, Detik News, said that the drone was just under 7.4 feet long, appeared to have some kind of sensor array in its nose, and seemed to have a long antenna extending from the rear end. The craft has a torpedo-shaped body with a pair of wings mounted toward the center and a vertical tail. The discovery indicates that the Chinese government is discreetly conducting underwater inspections of routes between the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense has stated it would add 5 coastal defense brigades by 2023. The organization is likely to improve the country's ability to defend its coastlines, a military spokesman said. In this context, it's to be noted that over the past few months, China has repeatedly sent military planes and warships closer to Taiwan, indicating that it's ready to use military force to realize its wish of unification. Starting January 1st, one brigade each will be added in the north and south, followed by additional brigades in the northern, central, and southern regions, with the new arrangement to be completed by December 31st, 2023. Russian military sources quoted by state media have reported that the first serially produced Su-57 next-generation fighters have joined the Russian Air Force, and they would serve under the Southern Military District. The fighter is currently at a low initial production rate. It's likely that the next theater where Su-57 jets will be deployed will be to the west. The Sukhoi Su-57 is a fifth-generation, stealthy, single-seat, twin-engine jet multi-role fighter aircraft designed for air superiority and ground attack operations. It is the successor of Su-35 and Russia's answer to American F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor. Although most information is classified, sources within the Sukhoi Company and Defense Ministry have openly stated that the aircraft is stealthy, super maneuverable, have super cruise capability, incorporate substantial amounts of composite materials, and possess advanced avionics such as active phased array radar and sensor fusion. A prototype first flew on the 29th of January, 2010. The Indian Army has ordered a dozen new high-speed boats for surveillance of the Pangong Tso Lake and several other water bodies. This comes in the middle of a military standoff against China. Pangong Lake has been the sticking point, with the Chinese troops occupying areas on the northern bank of the lake that had been in India's control. In response, the Indian Army had occupied heights of the southern side of the lake that had been unmanned. The contract has been inked with MS Goa Shipyard Limited, and the indigenously made boats will be delivered by May 2021. The newly built boats will have better anti-ramming capabilities and an enhanced capacity to accommodate additional troops. As per some media reports, U.S. President Donald Trump has been briefed on alleged intelligence reports that indicate China has offered money to non-state actors in Afghanistan to attack U.S. soldiers in the country. The allegations were published by the news site Axios and CNN, citing senior administration officials. Axios reported that the president was briefed on the intelligence on December 17th, and that officials were working to corroborate the claims. The recent finding would likely further strain U.S.-China relations. Viewers may note that there was alleged intelligence of Russian bounties on U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan earlier. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.